Oh, my goodness. Can it be a new
what?
year?
What year is it, John?
I'm
I don't care
1826.
anymore. Could be. I don't care anymore. Whatever.
I'd like to say a big thank you to all of our sponsors. Woodwinds Wedding and Special Events Venue and Silvio Sauces, thewoodwinds.com. Ascend Bank. They don't just see your accounts, they see your vision and ambitions. Ascend.bank. TechFix, Connecticut's one-stop shop for all your computer and tech repairs. TechFixCT.com. Moonshots, a vegan-based company that delivers the highest quality organic juices, coffee, bowls, and so much more. DrinkMoonshots.com. And To Your Health, nutrition and health coaching, creating a lifestyle tailored just for you. ToYourHealth360.com. We're deeply grateful to all of our sponsors for their support and for partnering with us to uplift and enrich the lives of our listeners and viewers. Well, welcome to another episode of What's Good with John and Joyce. Subscribe for free on YouTube and share it with everybody you know who needs good news. And I'm so glad we made it through 2025. That was a year I'm so glad is in the past. Let's move forward. Let's bring people together. And that's what this podcast is
Yes.
about, right?
Yes.
I'm John Cadillac Seville from iHeartRadio.
I am Joyce Logan, not from iHeartRadio.
And we have a very special guest coming up that we had a chance to meet. I did, a couple months back or so. We had a cup of coffee, got to know each other, and said, "You got to come on our podcast." She said, "Yes, I do."
I'm excited about meeting her and talking about.
Well, I'm going to make this official here since
Make
our
it official.
teleprompter is
Tell
not
her-
working at the moment.
Tell everyone.
Okay, we're really happy to welcome Linda Hubbard to the show today as we kick off the new year with renewed hope for better health and prosperity in all areas of our life. Let's face it, getting healthy can feel overwhelming. Where do you even start? Changing long-standing habits is not easy, and staying motivated can feel really like it's impossible at times. That's where Linda comes in. Linda is the founder of To Your Health, where the focus is on guiding people every step of the way. She understands that no two people are the same, which is why everything she does is personalized, from comprehensive assessments to effective coaching and ongoing support. Her mission is simple: to help you create a vibrant, healthy life that truly works for you. Linda Hubbard, welcome to What's Good with John and Joyce. And I could toss this away.
Thank you.
Hey.
So happy to be here.
It's Linda.
Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome.
So, Linda, this has to be a busy time for you, where you begin working with people.
So of course, everybody makes their New Year's resolutions, and usually definitely within 30 days, I don't know what the stats are, something like 85%. It all goes by the wayside. So
Wow.
at that point, not necessarily January 1, but at that point, people decide they might like a little bit of help and they come see me.
Right.
So it gets busy, and it gets busy the first whole quarter. I mean, as much as I'm poo-pooing the resolutions, not totally, people take those seriously, and for the first few months, and then especially when they start looking towards spring is actually going to come someday, that's when it really kicks in as well.
Right.
And people think about spring, could be a little less clothing out there. They can
That's
notice themselves
right.
more because in the wintertime, people are hiding
Yes.
behind, sweaters and all that type of stuff. But I remember as a personal trainer myself, Linda, too, you train people in January, and you're right, 3 or 4 weeks, they kind of give up on it.
Yes, they do.
So what I would usually do is say, gosh, you got to give it 90 days if you're really serious
And
about
that's
this.
human nature.
Right.
Human nature is, it takes time to create a habit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're doing. New lifestyle, different habits, healthy habits.
Right.
You can't downplay the importance of the habits.
Yep.
And there's ways to create a habit that are based in science. It's not random.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it with a kind of a step-by-step process that works for your life.
Right.
So, yeah.
So what would a step be to start creating a habit? I've heard like 3 weeks.
I do one of my programs, depending on the individual, is 3 months. 3 months really can solidify a new habit and make it just that, an everyday or common habit that you've adopted. But yes, to your point, a couple of weeks of doing something, one of the main things is to keep it really small and really simple. So you don't again hit January 1 and say, I'm going to eat perfectly, I'm going to exercise every day, and I'm going to do this, and this.
Right.
It won't work. It has to be small. I'm going to eat an extra fruit or vegetable every day this week. And that's what makes it stick, makes it doable, makes you successful. Everybody thinks it's willpower. It's not. It's not. You have to build yourself up to it.
Yes.
It really is. And the small things, like you said before, and celebrating those little victories along the way as well.
Celebration is a big part of it.
But one of my favorite sayings is inch by inch, it's a cinch. Yard by yard,
I like
it's hard.
that. I like that.
So little by little, the baby
That's
steps.
so true.
Baby
so
steps.
true.
Yes.
And being encouraging, because people get beat up every day
Yep.
in the world, in their family, at work, whatever it may be. So if we could be that encouraging person that they look forward to seeing, and we're going to give them grace.
Absolutely.
Because we fall. You know, I mean, Joyce, you keep yourself very fit. I do. So do you, Linda. We understand the mentality of this, but it's new for a lot of people, and we really have to show them love.
Well, and they think in terms of perfection.
Yeah.
If I didn't do it perfectly, I bombed.
Right.
Now it's all over. Oh my gosh, no. That's just
Right.
life.
And then they throw the whole thing out the door.
Right.
And go and munch on the potato chips or whatever.
Right.
That's
right.
okay. We all fall off.
We
it's all right.
we
Yes.
all do. And not even fall off. You can plan to splurge. Here we, just went through the holidays. You're going to splurge.
Yes.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, that's fun. That's so many things.
I know I can't wait to have Joyce's cookies. I'm going to splurge on those. I had them all the Christmas season. Maybe
Yes.
this first week of January, I might have a couple more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
you
you know-
deserve
you
that.
know how
Happy
to
New
do-
Year.
Yeah.
You know, you probably heard me say this before on air, but there's when I worked with a cardiology group for people for weight loss, and I remember this one man who lost like 300 pounds in 1 year, and he said he knew he was on the right track when he gained 10 pounds and he didn't beat himself up, and he went right back to doing what he was doing.
Yep. In the big picture, that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's just going to happen. You don't, I mean, my gosh, yeah. What are the stats used to be on quitting smoking? People try 10 times. It's the 10th time or something
Right.
like that it works.
Yes.
And so you have to be patient, and that's a tough one. But you have to give yourself grace.
Now, Linda, you've been in the wellness field for a long time.
I have.
What made you decide to all of a sudden work with people? You work with people all across the country,
I do.
don't
Yeah,
you?
I do.
You know, what made you decide to step in this space?
So I way back, going back many moons, I was a critical care cardiac nurse, and went from being in the hospital with patients to going to running their cardiac rehab. So they'd have their heart attack, they'd have their open heart surgery, and they came to a facility that I ran with an incredible team of people. And we would help them learn how to exercise and monitor their exercise so they were safe. We had cooking classes. We had stress management, all those things that are so important. And I loved it back then.
That was all encompassing.
Loved it. It was
Yeah.
it was a whole center that did that, and it was in Philadelphia. Again, I won't mention the year, but way back. And so I then went into the corporate world and into software, but still with one of the business partners that my company worked with was American Heart Association. So I've been doing this all along and doing what I do now with the coaching with friends and family and colleagues for all those years. But 2 years ago, I decided to make it official and open to your health. And as you said, work with people all over the country, because everything I do, for the most part, can be done remotely. But I work with a lot of local people too. And if they want the cooking class and the things in their home and going grocery shopping and reading labels and all those things that go along with it, those are options. And
Well, you help
do
them out with
those.
all of that.
Absolutely.
That is terrific.
And Linda, you can work with people online.
Right. So everything I do, essentially the program is meeting with people week to week, first assessing all kinds of things. I mean, their lifestyle. If I can't go tell you to go eat these 5 foods if you hate those foods,
Right.
talk about,
Right.
setting yourself up for defeat. So I'm going to assess what's your lifestyle, your work, your home life. Are you doing the shopping? Are you doing the cooking? All of the medical history that people would like to share. I'm not working as a medical professional in this capacity, but if they're comfortable sharing, I want to know everything, because that's going to fit into their customized plan.
And that's great, because it's about the relationship and finding out what they do. When I would train people the same way, Joyce, I would say, What are you trying to accomplish with this?
Right. What's your
And
goals?
if
What's
you're
your
a
number one
golfer,
goal for
I
being
want to
there?
train you a different way with your core. If you're a power lifter or if you're a football player, you need explosion. I'm going to help them with their squats and their lower body. So it's all about that. The need will provide the lead.
Yes.
You're always listening all the time. That's why God gave us 2 ears, right? Listen. It's not about us. It's about them. And I love what you're doing, but I love that you help them with reading the ingredients and the shopping and all.
Sure.
If they choose,
It's not going to be able to last. Again, I can learn about them and give them here's a bunch of foods you might want to like and try and see how it works for you. But then eventually they're going to be on their own and they're going to pick up a food and say, I wonder if this is healthy for me. And we keep it, everything I do is not only customized to that person, but really simple. I take it down to the most simple. It's not the scientific. Behind the scenes, everything I do and share is based in science. But I really work with them so that reading a label is not a big production. It's glance and see if there's 50 ingredients or 3.
Right. You make the complex
There you go.
understandable.
Yes,
Exactly.
you need to make that simple. So how often do people check in with you once they start a program with you?
So, like I said, that again, customized programs, but one of the programs is 3 months. And the basis of that is meeting once a week, either online, in person, wherever they'd like to meet. And that's usually for 45 minutes or so. And we really do a touch base. How are things going? How is your week? How are you feeling?
Yeah.
What's new this week? And then also checking in on the goals. So each week there's, again, back to our habits, there's small goals. How did that go? What do we need to change up? And every week we're changing something up. So this isn't create a plan and stick to that plan.
Yes.
It is every week the discussion is, what do we need to change up to make it work even better for you if it's working? If it's not working, really, what do we need to change up?
All about the pivot and the tweak.
Absolutely.
Keep yourself available. I'm sure if people are freaking out.
So people can reach out to me via email, text, phone. I hear from people pretty regularly. If they're having a horrible day, they can call and say, horrible day. I woke up. I ate a piece of chocolate cake. And then I did this. And now I'm all stressed. And 5-minute conversation or a text back and forth. That's the support. That's just that. It's what they need to take the next step to get back on track to, maybe something they hadn't even thought of, and it gets into, we're talking mostly about the nutrition and food and some exercise. It's also take 3 deep breaths, pause,
Yes,
relax. I mean, the science behind 3 deep breaths and how it calms everything in your system, everything in your body. It's really amazing, and it works.
It's amazing
for most people. Some people go, "Oh, I hate that stuff."
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to necessarily go that way, but yeah,
because they haven't tried it though.
Potentially,
yes.
right,
Yeah.
right, or tried it in the right
But-
way.
No,
Go ahead,
good.
Joyce.
I just wanted to ask, do people primarily come to you for weight loss, or is it a lifestyle change in general?
So it's a great question. It's all over the place. Yes, I would say a majority. One of their goals, I usually ask for 3 goals. What brought you to me today? And one is weight loss. But a lot of people recognize the long-term health. I'm 50-something years old, and I'm recognizing that there's changes happening. So I want to be sure to prevent chronic disease in the future.
Yes.
My family has high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. They might have some indications of that or a full-blown diagnosis, but they know they want to do something about it. And so that, yes to the weight loss, but it usually comes with 1 or 2 other things. I want to be there for my kids, grandkids, and grandkids. It could be a very specific medical condition related to nutrition that they're coming to talk about.
I see.
So it's
So people
I'm meeting
with
people
diabetes.
wherever they're at. Yes.
Yes. That would be a big one.
Absolutely.
Because
yes.
there are people with diabetes, even type 2 diabetes, that they're not necessarily overweight.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and that ranges, right. You have every size and shape of person with diabetes as well. And, unfortunately, oftentimes they've gotten the advice of go and eat healthy, eat more fruits and vegetables, and walk more. and they go, what do I do?
Yeah, right. You got to give them the GPS.
What fruits
And
and
that's what you do.
vegetables and what
Right.
do you
Yes.
and do I walk really fast and do I that's the build up and the details that we get into to see what would work best for someone.
Oh, you are so needed.
Really are. And the thing is, I found out when I was training people too, if they would, kind of give up on themselves once in a while, I would go back to the reason why.
You go back.
The reason why will determine how hard you try.
Yes.
And I said, you said before you wanted to be around for your grandkids. You said you wanted to have that quality of life so you can get down on the floor and play with your kids, your grandkids, this
That's
and that.
right.
So do you still want that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Good. Let's get out there.
Yeah.
We're working together. I'm here for you. And how many times do people hear that from anybody? That I'm here for you and mean it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where.
And I think
it
almost means more when it comes from an outsider.
Yes.
When you enter in as a professional
Mm-hmm.
and a friend also, because you must become friends with them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we end up spending a lot of time together and sharing a lot of personal things. Again, it's the whole person.
It's the whole package.
You can't just say, go eat this many calories a day and you'll lose weight and achieve all your goals. Right. That just doesn't happen that way. So, yeah, we work on a lot of things. And yes, to your point, I become very good friends with a lot of my clients. It's wonderful.
You dug into their lives and there's a potential for maybe a spouse even sabotaging. And that could happen.
Yes, there is. Yeah. And that's lifestyle change, and that's what's hard. Or you have the person who's, trying to go shopping and cooking with a busy, crazy work schedule, and they have 3 kids at home who are really picky eaters.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that for a while. I mean, there's so many aspects to it to at least visit and see what can be done short term, long term, what can we change up here. And that's a big part of all the discussions.
But the relationship really is so important with everything in life.
Yeah.
I mean, when Joyce and I communicate and talk about the podcast and our shows, initially we talk about, well, how was your weekend?
Mm-hmm.
How's Matthew doing? Everything going well? And tell me a little bit about your day, Joyce.
Yeah.
And we open it up with something personal.
Right.
And then we get the business because we're friends first.
Right.
And it helps us develop a better relationship and a better podcast. And I think
sometimes we don't even get to the podcast.
I know, because we're talking about, because we really enjoy each other's company, And the thing is, I get that sense just knowing you for the short time. I felt really comfortable with you when I met with you in the coffee shop. That this woman really cares. Mm-hmm. And we developed a relationship.
Linda's part of our tribe.
You're part of our tribe now. You're part of our team.
I am. I'm now part of the team. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
But when you talked about people not knowing what to eat, it so reminded me of my son who doesn't live with me on his own. And periodically, he has diabetes. And periodically, he would say to me as I'm busy doing things, he'd say, I don't know what to eat. And I would look up and say, what do you mean you don't know what to eat? You just eat healthy. And he says, but I don't know what that means.
Right.
And he said that long enough that I finally had a deep conversation with him. Like you said, about reading labels, not eating on the fly and just grabbing something. Prepare your meals in advance.
Right. And you think about whole nother topic. This is like another podcast someday. All the misinformation out there. People are bombarded. So I don't know what to eat. Well, no kidding. You're told to buy this supplement and this one and be sure and do this. And there's science behind it, but only in this supplement. It's the only one in the universe that'll help you with A, B, and C. It's like, oh my gosh, as soon as those words are coming out of someone's mouth, much we can dismiss that and look to what is the practical, simple, everyday approach to that. So I don't promote any brands or anything along those lines, because back to the customization, it's all about you. Yes, it's okay if you take a multivitamin and some other things that are good for you. I'm not saying all supplements are bad, not at all, but it has to work for you. And ideally, it's not coming from the masses and the misinformation that's out there.
There's a lot of yes, we need to do a whole show about misinformation.
A lot of it out there.
In general,
there's so much information. That's why a lot of people don't start or they give up.
They do.
Like you said, you keep it simple.
But everything contradicts everything else.
It does.
And as soon as you read an article and say, okay, now I feel good, I understand I understand the importance of fiber and protein. Okay, that's what I'm going to go do. And somebody goes, no, that's not important.
Right.
Don't eat fruit or something like that. It's
Coffee
like,
is bad.
Oh my gosh.
Coffee is good
I
for
know.
you.
Yes.
It is so, and I feel for people. It is so confusing.
It is.
So, yeah.
That's where you make sense of it all.
Yep.
Now, how do you feel about, since we're in the new year, resolutions? Do you subscribe to that yourself personally?
Yes and no. I think they're fun.
Mm.
However, resolutions, that approach to, again, on January 1, I am going to not have any more alcohol after that New Year's party, and I'm going to eat perfectly, and I'm going to exercise every day.
Mm-hmm.
That plan, I can't imagine the statistics. I'm thinking one out of something like the lottery numbers that are out there now for winning the billion.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
You are completely setting yourself. And that's all we know to do is to say, yep, I'm going to get, or the big broad term, I'm going to get healthy in the new year and I'm going to lose 50 pounds. How are you going to do that?
Right.
What's your plan?
Right.
So that's
Linda, that's the plan.
That's what.
That's right.
There you go.
Yes.
There's the plan for
Yes.
No, really, because people really do need guidance.
Yeah.
They do need help on that. And, I just think of so many people that I know that did exactly what you said. The other thing is, I think people need to be in a mindset, you fool the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So when I lost weight and gave up smoking and gave up drinking, I just innately knew to say to myself, I love this. I love the way I feel. And I really didn't, in that moment. But I would just say, I just love, whatever I was eating. And if I had a glass of water instead of a glass of wine, nobody knew it, really, at a party or anything.
No.
And I would feel so good that I didn't have a hangover. I didn't have that high sugar feeling in my body.
Yeah.
But I would say to myself, I love this. And you know what? I eventually did.
Yeah.
And it came pretty quickly.
And you make a good point. You have someone's goal is to stop drinking, lose X amount of pounds. They think that's the ultimate goal. Somewhere in the midst of working with people after a month, 2, a little bit more maybe, they kind of have the revelation of, I feel really good.
Yeah.
When we start the conversation of how was your week? How are you feeling? I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And they are shocked. They didn't think that wasn't one of their goals to feel good.
Yeah.
Yes, of course it's underlying.
Yes.
But it's still a surprise to people when, oh my gosh, I ate a healthy breakfast for the last month and all of a sudden I feel good and I have more energy and I don't have the 3:00 in the afternoon crash and burn and they're amazed, and that makes me really, really happy to see that.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of
That's why we have to hold their hand, especially in the beginning, because we live in a world,
Yeah.
a society where everybody wants it yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be on a good nutrition plan for a day.
Yep.
I'm gonna look like Mr. America and this America, this and that, right? And I see that all the time,
Yes.
Jim. And I see so many people that are on the treadmill, and they've been there for years, and they haven't changed.
Yeah.
Because their nutrition hasn't changed.
Yes,
Right.
that's a good
Everything
point.
starts in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Everything starts in the kitchen,
Everything
doesn't it?
does. It does. It really that is the large percentage of what I do and people in general being healthy is what you put in your body. I mean, that's the
I'm
fuel.
so glad you're saying this
Yeah, me
because
too.
this is something I've been saying to people like in my little tight inner circle of friends that I heard someone say that once, that over 90% of what our body looks like is not in the exercise.
Nope.
It's in what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
But I know these people who exercise all the time like crazy, but their body's not changing. But in their mind, they feel like they did something.
And exercise is
Yes.
wonderful. It has
course.
huge benefits.
Yeah.
But yes, to your point, for the person who says I'm 40-something years old, I want to drop that last 10 pounds, it's a lot about the food. It's a huge amount.
And it's being consistent.
Very
mean,
much so.
it's-
Being consistent, but we're still going to give ourselves that grace of you can be consistent. And I was going to say a moment ago, to your point, John, people also want to lose 20 pounds in 10 days because they've heard that. They've been bombarded with that on
Oh, yes.
TV and
Yes.
on obviously all the social media is I can do I want to get ready for the prom, the wedding, the this, the that.
The life event.
And
yes.
I am going to drop a ton of weight in a very short amount of time and still think that that's okay. I mean, it's one of the most unhealthy things you could do. Your body is so confused and just screaming for,
Yes.
some things it's going to need in that process. But yeah.
And there's no such thing as a diet anyway. Diet is basically, it's just not a good thing. It's got to be a lifestyle. You and I both know.
Diet implies a start date and an end date. Well, as soon as you end it, if it was weight you wanted to lose, the weight's going to come back on. If it's that you did more exercise and now you're not, your lean muscle mass is going to go away. So,
Right.
So where was the diet part of it? This is adopt new habits. And
I would never say, I would, never use the word diet.
No, the first letters are die.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Huh.
you're right.
Huh.
But I'm thinking about myself and going through that. I would just say, when someone would say, "Have this dessert, Joyce," and maybe I did want it, but I would just say, "You know what? I'm full. I don't really want that right now."
Yeah.
And then your brain, just registers through your body and calms it down that I didn't want it, or get to the point where you could have a little forkful, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it is satisfying if you do that deep breath
Yeah.
and relax your body.
Pause. Think about it.
Yes.
I have a friend who talk about the panic phone call. I have, this is a few weeks ago, I have, a party or an event, work event, those kinds of things for the holidays every day this week.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? Well, to your point, when you're sitting at that big banquet table with 10 people around it, that's one of the hardest things to not go with the flow. Everybody gets served their salad at the same time. The bread basket gets passed with the butter. Then desserts get passed around. Everybody gets dessert at once. And everybody's talking and mechanically
Yes.
eating.
Hmm.
Ask yourself if it could be one of those desserts that doesn't actually taste very good. It's one of those just regular old, I don't know, some white cake. And you're like, this isn't even that good.
Right.
Taste it and say, this is the best thing I've ever eaten. I'm going to have some of this. Or pass on it. It's not that good.
Right.
And how many people are at their computer and they're just constantly eating snacks and they're doing it, not even noticing it?
Watching TV, binging on some Netflix show, and
Right.
just nonstop eating.
When I was counseling people at
Yeah.
the gym too, I would say, okay, what did you eat? Keep a food journal.
Yeah.
Keeps you accountable.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they would just be eating like that mechanically and not put that in.
Yeah.
So I said, what did you eat when you were watching TV last night? Oh, I forgot to put that in. Oh, I had a salad, but what did you put on the salad?
Oh, yeah.
Those dressings. will keep
Croutons,
you
cheese, and dressing.
Right.
Yes.
Or the croutons, whatever it may be. But the thing is, again, we need to show people grace, show them the way, stick with them, not give up on them when they give up on themselves, and remind them the reason why they decided to come to you in the first place, right, Linda?
The why, and give them the tools. So to your point of you end up binge eating at night, there's steps you can take to literally put that food out of reach. Are you going to go get the chair from the kitchen table and climb up to the high cupboard and get that snack? That extra time it takes to do that, it sounds kind of goofy, but it's not.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, there's and again, it's whatever resonates with that person's brain. How does their brain work? That may be all they need. Some people might take that as a challenge.
Right.
So we're getting down to what works for them in terms of having those tools that are just right for them to help with those things.
In many cases, not bringing them into the house either. Because if I bring something into the house, I'm going downstairs to down the hall, not the street, but the street to a creamery, and it's in there. And I know it's there.
Yes.
I'm going to eat it. Or peanut butter is my
Yeah.
kryptonite.
Yeah.
I'll get the organic peanut butter, but I can't just have a spoonful. My wife looks at me, and I'm like there with a spoon, one after another,
Spoon.
and that's my kryptonite.
Yeah.
But there's the balance. You're right. Don't bring in the tons of things into the house,
Yes.
but don't deny yourself either. If it's peanut butter, now let's put those into single serving, whatever.
Good idea.
Let's have the peanut butter with an apple so that you're digesting it and your body's processing as best as it can in a healthy way. So there's all those things, and there's just so much of that that can be incredibly helpful.
Well, Linda, we may have to have an episode 2 on this at some point, because this is so
absolutely.
important. But
Everyone.
I know for a
hear
fact
about
if I was looking for somebody to
Yeah.
help me with this, I would go to Linda.
Yeah, me too.
And I feel comfortable with you and
I
your
will
knowledge.
send
And
people to you.
I like the way
Absolutely.
that you keep things simple. But tell us a little bit about how people get in contact with you.
Sure. So they can check out the website.
And I'll have that information that is under our
Yep, good.
everything.
That's out there. They can call me as well.
Yeah.
And really, it's an initial appointment to sit down. It's no charge. It's just let's get on the phone or even have a cup of coffee and talk about what are their goals. You know, what would they like to accomplish? Why are they coming to me and inquiring? And so we talk about what that might look like for them and go from there.
And the name of your company again is?
To Your Health.
All right.
And your website is To Your Health 360?
It is, yes. To
I
Your
love
Health
that.
360.
Yep.
Find you on Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Linda, it's been an absolute
Oh,
joy having
yeah.
you in the studio. Happy New Year.
Happy
And
New Year.
I know a lot of people are happy because they're teaming up with you as well. So thank you so much for teaming up with us today. What's Good with John and Joyce, available everywhere you find your favorite podcast. Check out YouTube, subscribe for free, and share it with somebody else who needs some good news too, and maybe somebody who's going to help them with their plan here in 2026. And our plan is to help you find a place for good news. No politics, no negativity here. What's Good with John and Joyce. Happy New Year!
We
Happy
love
New
you.
Year.
Bye for now.
Hey, I heard you got engaged. Congratulations. Now it's time to book the DJ. And that's where we come in. I'm John Cadillac Seville with John Seville Entertainment, Wedding Wire, and the Knot 2026 Couples Choice Awards winner. You can call me directly if you'd like at 203-988-0658. We'll set up your free consultation. Or go to johncaddyman.com. That's 203-988-0658 or johncaddyman.com. We offer excellence, peace of mind, and a great time for all. John Seville Entertainment, a name you know and can trust.